Life is filled with challenges and moments that test our mental strength. It's this strength that allows us to keep moving forward, to rise when we fall, and to face adversity with resilience. Like an unseen force, mental strength is the foundation that supports us, enabling us to tackle problems and pursue our goals even when sheer talent or skill may not be enough. Today, we're diving into the core concepts of Buddhism and how they relate to 10 specific habits that, when left unchecked, can weaken the mind. By understanding these teachings, we can begin a journey toward building a stronger, more resilient mind, one that can bounce back from life's toughest trials. One of the most damaging habits that can weaken the mind is having a negative mindset. It's like a thick fog that smothers any sense of joy or contentment we might feel. This negativity becomes a mental weight that colors our entire experience of life, making even the brightest moments seem dim and unimportant. When we focus too much on what's wrong, we blind ourselves to what's right, what's good, and what's beautiful around us. It's as though we're wearing dark-tinted glasses. Everything, even the positive, looks bleak. Over time, this perspective becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, influencing our decisions and behaviors in ways that further perpetuate our sense of gloom. A negative mindset also discourages us from taking chances or trying new things. We convince ourselves that failure is inevitable, so why bother? To overcome this mental trap, we can look to Buddhist teachings, particularly the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about being fully present in the moment, observing our thoughts without letting them control us. Instead of being consumed by negative thoughts, mindfulness allows us to notice them, acknowledge them, and then choose to focus on something positive. It's like clearing away the fog so that we can see the sun shining once more. Buddhism also teaches the practice of loving-kindness meditation, or metta. This form of meditation involves sending positive, warm thoughts to ourselves and others. It's a powerful tool for gradually shifting from a negative, self-critical mindset to one that is compassionate and optimistic. Along with the concept of impermanence, Buddhism reminds us that nothing lasts forever, not the bad times and not the good ones either. When we truly understand that all things are temporary, it becomes easier to face hardships without becoming overwhelmed by them. This understanding can help us free ourselves from the heavy chains of negativity, fostering a mind that is not only positive but also resilient. Another habit that significantly weakens the mind is the tendency to complain about things outside of our control. Complaining is like holding on to a burning piece of coal. It doesn't hurt anyone else but us. It traps us in a cycle of negativity, preventing us from focusing on solutions or moving forward. The more we complain, the more stuck we become, like quicksand pulling us deeper into frustration. Buddhism sheds light on this habit, reminding us that nothing is permanent, not even the situations we find most frustrating. Complaining often comes from a place of believing that things will never change, but Buddhism teaches us to embrace impermanence. By accepting that life has ups and downs and that nothing stays the same, we can approach challenges with a sense of balance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding that we can't control everything and choosing to focus on what we can change. It's like learning to sail through a storm. You may not be able to stop the rain, but you can still navigate your boat to safety. In Buddhism, letting go is a powerful practice. It's like releasing a balloon. You feel lighter and more at peace when you stop holding on so tightly. Letting go isn't about surrendering or giving up. It's about recognizing that holding on to complaints does nothing but weigh us down. By incorporating acceptance and letting go into our lives, we free ourselves from the constant burden of complaining, making room for more positive and proactive thinking. This shift strengthens our mental resolve, allowing us to approach life's challenges with a calm, steady mind. Another habit that can quietly erode our mental strength is not expressing ourselves. It's as if we have a treasure chest of thoughts, emotions, and ideas, but we keep it locked away. By not expressing ourselves, we create internal confusion and tension, like stumbling through a dark room without turning on the lights. When we fail to communicate our thoughts and feelings, they build up inside us, eventually leading to stress, anxiety, or even emotional breakdowns. Buddhism places great value on the practice of right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and with mindfulness. It's like planting seeds that will grow into a garden of understanding and connection. By aligning our communication with these principles, we open up pathways to deeper, more meaningful relationships with others. But communication isn't just about speaking. It also involves non-verbal expressions, our body language, gestures, and even our silence. These unspoken messages can convey as much, if not more, than words. Becoming mindful of how we express ourselves, both verbally and non-verbally, strengthens our ability to connect authentically with the world around us. Authentic expression is liberating. When we unlock that treasure chest and allow our thoughts and emotions to be seen and heard, we break free from the internal barriers that weaken us. It's like opening the windows in a stuffy room. Fresh air flows in, and suddenly everything feels lighter and clearer. By practicing mindfulness and embracing authentic expression, we cultivate a resilient mind that is both empowered and in harmony with those around us. Blaming others for our problems is another habit that severely weakens the mind. It's like trying to run a race with a backpack full of heavy stones. It slows us down and makes everything harder. When we blame others, we essentially hand over control of our lives to them, saying, "It's your fault, not mine." This mindset strips us of our personal power, making us passive spectators rather than active participants in our own journey. Buddhism introduces us to the concept of karma, the idea that our actions have consequences. Blaming others is like pretending that this law doesn't exist, refusing to acknowledge that we, too, play a role in shaping our experiences. When we take responsibility for our actions, we regain control. It's like taking the wheel of a ship in a storm. While we may not be able to stop the storm, we can still steer our ship through it. This shift from blame to personal responsibility is incredibly empowering. Forgiveness is also an essential part of overcoming this habit. Forgiving others doesn't mean excusing their behavior. It means freeing ourselves from the heavy weight of resentment. It's like setting down that backpack full of stones. We feel lighter, freer, and more in control of our journey. Practicing forgiveness, both toward others and ourselves, helps us break the cycle of blame, replacing it with a mindset of personal accountability and strength. A related habit that weakens the mind is fantasizing instead of visualizing. Fantasizing is like building castles in the air. They may look beautiful, but they have no foundation and will eventually collapse. This habit disconnects us from reality, making it difficult to achieve anything tangible. It's like chasing mirages in the desert. No matter how much you run, you'll never reach them. Fantasizing often involves unrealistic, wishful thinking. It's like expecting a magical solution to fall into your lap without any real effort. When we get lost in fantasies, we set ourselves up for disappointment because reality rarely matches up to the elaborate stories we create in our minds. Visualization, on the other hand, is grounded in possibility. It's like drawing a map to reach a destination. You create a plan based on achievable goals, and you take the necessary steps to get there. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of right intention and right action, both of which align with the concept of visualization. By setting clear, positive intentions and taking practical steps toward achieving them, We move away from empty daydreaming and toward real, meaningful progress. The practice of mindfulness helps us stay present, appreciating the journey as we work toward our goals, rather than getting lost in fantasies that leave us unfulfilled. Neglecting personal relationships is another habit that can weaken the mind over time. Relationships are like a garden. They require care, attention, and time. When we neglect our relationships, it's like letting the plants in our garden wither and die. Humans are social beings, and meaningful connections provide us with joy, support, and a sense of belonging. Without these connections, life can feel lonely and hollow, like sailing a boat without wind. Buddhism teaches us that presence is key to nurturing relationships. Being present with our loved ones is like shining sunlight on the garden of our relationships, helping it thrive. Communication, too, is vital. It's the wind that fills our sails, allowing us to move forward in our relationships with understanding and care. By taking the time to listen, share, and be present, we strengthen the bonds that support our mental well-being. Mindfulness also reminds us that life is impermanent, including the time we have with the people we care about. This knowledge encourages us to prioritize relationships, to savor the moments we have with others, and to invest our time in those who matter most. By making time for our relationships, we create a support system that fortifies our mental strength, helping us navigate the ups and downs of life with companions by our side. Letting emotions rule us is another habit that weakens the mind. It's like being swept away by a strong current in a river. We lose control and direction. Emotions, when left unchecked, can overwhelm us and lead us astray, making it difficult to stay grounded and focused. Buddhism teaches the practice of mindfulness as a way to observe our emotions without being consumed by them. It's like standing on the shore of the river, watching the current flow by without getting pulled under. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions, as well as empathize with the emotions of others. It's like having a compass in the middle of a storm. It helps us navigate through emotional turbulence with clarity and calm. By cultivating emotional intelligence, we gain the ability to respond to situations wisely rather than reacting impulsively, which strengthens our mental resilience. Trying to control everything is another habit that weakens the mind. It's like juggling too many balls at once. Eventually, we're bound to drop them. The more we try to control every aspect of our lives, the more frustrated and exhausted we become, because control is often an illusion. Buddhism teaches the concept of non-attachment, which helps us let go of the need for control. It's like releasing a clenched fist. We stop trying to hold on to things that are beyond our reach and find peace in the process. Dwelling on the past is like carrying a heavy backpack full of old memories, regrets, and grievances. It slows us down and prevents us from fully enjoying the present or looking forward to the future. Buddhism teaches us the importance of mindfulness and forgiveness in letting go of the past. When we release the weight of old wounds, we free ourselves to live more fully in the present moment. Finally, worrying about what others say and do is a habit that weakens the mind by tying our sense of self-worth to external opinions. It's like trying to sail a boat that's constantly tossed around by every passing wave. Buddhism encourages us to cultivate equanimity, a balanced, steady mind that remains unmoved by praise or criticism. By focusing on self-acceptance and authenticity, we free ourselves from the need for constant approval, allowing us to live with greater confidence and inner peace. By understanding and addressing these habits through the lens of Buddhist teachings, mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we can begin to break free from the mental patterns that weaken us. In doing so, we cultivate a mind that is not only strong and resilient, but also filled with purpose, joy, and a deep sense of peace.